So this morning I was up minding my damn business like I always do every day. And some weird lady decided that she wanted to come into my DMs on my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at the real Soncerae. Now, usually drama doesn't pop off unless it has something to do with YouTube. Because YouTube is one of the most dramatic places I have ever been on. But now that I have kind of pulled away from YouTube and I don't use it as much, people from YouTube still try to travel over to my Instagram sometimes. And that's fine to me. If in fact you have something valuable that you want to say, you have some type of interaction or question or something valuable, like I keep telling people, when you come into my DMs or you come into my comment sections, bring something valuable for me to work with. Don't come in my comments and in my DMs with foolishness, because I don't know what to do with that. I'm not on that level, so it's hard for me to know like what's happening in low energy spaces online. I deal with a high energy crowd. All we talk about is business, money, how to improve people's lives, motivate people. We talk about business and entrepreneurship all the time. So when people come into my live chats or my comment sections on my videos, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, it doesn't matter where it is. If you come in my DMs or send me a Facebook message, whatever it is, always be there to say something positive or to ask me a question or to tell me what can I do for you. I'm here to serve most people. So in comes this chick, and I don't know who she is, but I'm assuming she just a low energy basic, right? She comes into my DMs and she sends me a link to this video. Inside of the link is a video I didn't even look at. I saw the title. Inside of the title, it said businesswoman manhandles a man on a dating site, right? Now, of course, my picture is in the thumbnail, but we're not going to talk about how often people misuse my name and my pictures on YouTube. Like, it's such a headache. I can't watch all of this content and report all of this content to YouTube. I just don't have time for that. It's just not in the stars for me. I got better shit to do. It's too much of a process. I don't have time. And YouTube will remove some shit for the pettiest reasons. But when it comes time for them to remove something that's important, they take their time with that shit. So I don't have time. So I look at the thumbnail. Mind you, I have posted this thumbnail on my community tab. So the contents of this live stream, you can go to my community tab and read what it's about. Okay, if you want to skip over what I'm about to say in this live stream and you don't want to watch it, you just want to know what's up right quick because you got to go to work or whatever the case is, you can go to my community tab on my YouTube channel and you can see what I'm about to talk to y'all about in my live stream if you can't stay here. I'll see you soon when you're ready to come back. When you're ready, you got time to scroll back. You can listen to it later when you're washing the dishes or some shit like that, you know? But anyway, so I look at the title of the video. Of course, I don't have time to sit there and watch it because people send me links to videos people made about me every day. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been happening for years. So I just don't even watch it because I just don't have time. Also, I do not like to consume negativity and poison. If it's not there to educate me, uplift me, something positive, and bringing some type of value into my life, I don't want to deal with it. So I just overlook it altogether. I don't gossip. I don't do none of that. So I look at the title of the video and I respond back to the lady like, what's your issue? Because she was just like, bitch, don't respond back to me. Well, what the fuck you send me the link for? Usually when you reach out to people, you want to hear what they have to say or you just don't reach out to them. So you went out your way this morning at 4 fucking a.m. to send me a message about a video that you saw on YouTube, but you don't want me to respond to you? What you sending it to me for? This is what I mean by an unhealthy habit that people have. Like if you do not like someone or if you hate something that you saw about somebody, it doesn't mean go onto your Instagram, take the time to log into that bitch, find my Instagram and then send me some goofy shit. only to tell me you don't want to talk. So I'm like, bitch, obviously you got something that you want to say to me. So what is it that you want to say? And she just said some little negative stuff that wasn't explaining shit. She was just like, I don't have time to, talk to low energy people. Well, I guess you do because you reached out to me. For what? You think so little of me, but you reached out to me. What do you want? Don't contact me unless it's about business, money, you improving your own life, or you wanting something to, better to do. You want to interact with me because you need help with something. If it's not about me serving you in some type of way or bringing some type of value to your life, do not reach out to me. Period. It makes no sense. If you are confused or you misunderstanding something, you can reach out to me. I will be happy to talk to you. No problem. So I then go into my comment section, right? Because I see that somebody done left a couple of comments. It's the same chick. She done left 5 or 6 comments on like 4 different posts. And inside of those posts, she's tagging Kevin Samuels, Minister Jap, and Bullet Scotty, right? Now, mind you, everyone knows how I feel about Kevin Samuels and what I think about Kevin Samuels, okay? Kevin Samuels and I do not know each other personally, but for some reason, a lot of men think we do. And I have like some big issue with him. I do not know this man. I only can formulate my opinion about Kevin Samuels from what I've seen about him, what I've seen on TikTok, what I've seen on YouTube. I cannot formulate a solid opinion about Kevin Samuels until I build a friendship with him. I can only express my opinion about what I've seen. So, from what I've seen, my biggest concern is his audience, his male audience has no issue with harassing women online. When a video isn't even about Kevin Samuels, one of Kevin Samuels' audience members wants to come into the comment section and talk about Kevin Samuels, even if the video has nothing to do with relationships, nothing to do with anything that they're talking about in their comment. They do that to women all day, every day. And it's like nerve-wracking. So a lot of women hate that. I hate that it happens to me. I do not like that men keep coming in my comment section talking to me about Kevin Samuels. And I for damn sure don't like the fact that I was a dating coach for like 10 years and I never seen so many people put on a cape and defend me the way that they do this man. This feminine man. They complain about women being so masculine, yet they follow behind this man who is extremely feminine. Now, I don't care if he's homosexual. I have no problem with that. You understand? I'm a bisexual woman. I have gotten onto YouTube and said this before. I'm part of the LGBT community. I have no issue with the man being homosexual. However, I do have an issue with men having beards or men pretending that they aren't homosexual when they are. I don't like that shit. Be yourself. Also, I don't like the fact that a homosexual person feels like they can give relationship advice to people who are heterosexual. It's like I'm bisexual, right? I can give a bisexual person relationship advice. All right? I can talk about things that I can relate to or that I have experienced. But what I see about Kevin Samuels is that he doesn't have a degree in psychology, sociology, nothing that has to do with, the way human beings operate. He doesn't have any type of certification as a relationship coach or a life coach or anything like that, but men follow behind him with so much ease. But let a woman with degrees or a certification to be a life coach or to be a relationship coach or actually went to, did what she needed to do in order to become a therapist or something like that so she can help men. Y'all do not support that. I did that for y'all. I went and tried to figure out what I needed to learn about men in general so that I can help men with their relationships. I helped a lot of men with relationships, okay? But what ended up happening on YouTube is that a lot of Dusties who have all of this hatred for women decided that they wanted to take that shit out on me. And that's why I decided, after being a relationship coach for men for 10 plus years, I decided to start giving relationship advice to women. Number one, I'm not a femininity coach. I see a lot of people coming into my comments and in my DMs and thinking I'm a femininity coach. I am not a femininity coach. I despise femininity coaches as well, because I do not believe that femininity is something that you teach. It's something that women are just born with, and it's different types of femininity. So if you're teaching women to all have the same femininity, you deplete them of the uniqueness that will get them to be easily matched to the man that is meant for them. You cannot get the man who is meant for you specifically if you are pretending to be something that you are not, or you are behaving in a manner that is not you. If you are putting on a character, the man that you are with is going to fall in love with that character, not you. That's why I do not push that. Okay. Kevin Samuels also, he loses a lot of control. He loses self-control. He doesn't have a lot of self-discipline when he is interacting with women on social media. Okay, he is supposed to be helping these women, and sometimes these bird brain basicals go in there and they provoke him. But the amazing part about being a relationship coach or a life coach is you showing them how to behave. So if you have a level of self-respect and self-discipline, you're going to teach these hypergamy chicks and these bird brain basicals how to be. You understand how to be better. You know what I mean? So you have to do that by leading by example. My issue with him is he doesn't do that. Okay. And honestly, he's had two failed marriages, but men overlook this. But when they look at me, when I was giving them relationship advice, it was, oh, she's a single mother. We can't listen to what she's saying because she's a single mom. But you seen Kevin Samuels sit there and have two failed marriages, and y'all all over the internet like following behind this dude when he does not have what is necessary in order to be able to give solid advice to men or women. And I believe that men tend to follow behind this man because they like the way that he disrespects women. Now, he may have gotten better with his interaction with women as of lately, because I haven't been watching him. It's been like, I don't know, it's been maybe two months since I seen a fresh, brand new Kevin Samuels clip. I might see an old clip, like if I'm, going through TikTok, I might see an old clip, or I might see somebody post a clip of him on Instagram. But I don't watch enough of his content to be able to make sound judgment about who he is as a man. I can only say what I believe from the handful of stuff I've seen. Okay. I maybe watched a week or 2 weeks worth of Kevin Samuels live streams and clips and stuff like that. And a lot of the clips be like 3 minutes long. So that's a lot of content. But at the same time, I just feel like I have not watched him for years. I knew about him 2016. I found out about him. Maybe 2016 I found out about who he was. So I've known who this dude is. And I saw him back then and didn't like what he represented. So it's not that I am feeling some type of way because he's more popular than me, or he has more subscribers than me, or he blah blah blah, because when he didn't have people following behind him, I still felt the same way. I still thought the same way. I didn't cling on to him. I just didn't. So my issue with him isn't personal. I do not know him. We have no beef. The one video that's on my YouTube channel of a young lady doing a drag about him, and the title of the video is "This is the funniest, most honest Kevin Samuels drag I've ever heard." And that's the title of the video, but that's not me. A lot of people keep thinking that that woman is me. No, that is a clip I got off of Instagram. And this woman's Instagram tag is on the video, it's on the screen, yet people don't even have the critical thinking skills to see that the person in the picture is not me. Like, all you have to do is look at her and listen to her voice. We don't have the same voice. So they come into the comments section of that video and they start, his audience get in on me as if I'm that woman. Now, I agree with that woman. That woman's funny as hell. It's a funny ass drag, but it's for entertainment purposes. When I speak about Kevin Samuels, I speak on a more serious level. And it's because I'm taking seriously how he affects these young women. It's important to me because I remember I didn't have good leadership when I was young. When I was relying on men to lead me in a positive direction, a lot of them put me in a worse position. Okay. Now I've been around some good men. Some good men have taught me a lot about business, a lot about money. A lot of them have donated. A lot of them have taken care of my son. A lot of them have been pretty decent people. So I talk about them too. But men overlook that. They don't see when I'm talking about good men. The dusties are loud. When the dusties come in my comment sections or my live streams, I know it's a dusty because they're always butt hurt about what I'm saying. But no good man is going to be butt hurt about what I'm saying because what I'm saying negatively does not apply to him. He would not do the things that I'm saying Dusties do. So a good man is not going to be in my comment section saying some ridiculous shit like you bash all men or, something negative like that because I don't bash all men. There are good men out there. There are bad men out there. There are exceptional men out there. And what I try to do when I'm giving relationship advice to women now is to encourage them to be better for men. It's so unfortunate that I get on social media and I'm defending both men and women, but both men and women are giving me hell because they don't want to do any self accountability. Y'all do not want to take accountability for shit that y'all do ever. It's just like you have to look at yourself to see what's going on with you in order for you to be able to fix it so you can be in a better, healthier relationship. It takes you fixing you, whether it's your standards, your boundaries, and it doesn't matter whether you male or female, you deserve to have standards and boundaries. So a lot of times, like yesterday, for the past yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that, I was sitting on, I think it's what is it? YBF. It was some account, YBF, some account, okay, where this guy was basically saying that women who are businesswomen and are financially stable still shouldn't have to pay for anything inside of a marriage or relationship. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. So I was sitting inside of that comment section getting torn up by women because I'm out here defending men saying, listen, there are a lot of good working class men. There are a lot of good middle class men that you can be in a relationship with, but you are a selfish bitch if you keep your money in your pocket and do not help with your household. There are a lot of men out there who are financially stable who still require that women put in to the lifestyle that he is trying to create for him and his family. Women do not understand when you are a wife and a mother, you chose this. You do not charge men for giving birth. A lot of women feel like, oh, because I gave birth, I shouldn't go 50-50 or I shouldn't invest in my family. It's financially, it's his responsibility. No, ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell because for me it's like I'm my son's mother. I don't care how much child support my son's father pays. I am always going to invest in my son's lifestyle. Period. So that means if me and my husband or if me and my son's father was living together, let's say he and I was living together and we had a household and it was just me, Priest, and Justice. Okay? If Priest said to me, I want to pay the mortgage. I would have been like, cool, I'll do the utilities, I'll pay the car notes, I'll do something that creates a healthier environment for my son. I'm not just going to let my husband or my boyfriend sit there and handle everything on his own while I keep all of this money that I'm making in my damn pockets. That's selfish. And you lack moral character when you do something like that. People think because you have money, it must mean that you have a good character. No, you just have financial literacy. The problem with Kevin Samuels is he is teaching men and women too that women who are financially stable or women who are business women will not make good partners because we're not submissive, because we're not blah 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 blah. This goes back to the name of this video that this young lady on Instagram sent me that was supposedly about me, where this man is saying businesswoman manhandles a man on a dating site. Basically, inside of the description, it was saying this is why you don't date business women who are financially stable because they manhandle you. My thing is this. My thing is this. Not all business women or women who are financially stable act the same. We are not monolithic. So even if I was guilty of the crap that this clown is saying inside of this video about me, even if I was guilty of it, even if it was true, that doesn't mean every single woman out there who is a business owner or is wealthy would behave in such a manner. Just because a woman has money or is financially stable or runs a business doesn't mean she's masculine, or she's not going to be uh, submissive inside of a relationship, or she's not going to love you or respect you or your leadership. That's not how that goes at all. Women respect men who have purpose. Where are you going in life? Would you lead her somewhere positive? Where are you going? A lot of men expect to women to allow them to lead, but they lead women into poverty. When you are dealing with a woman who has her finances in order, who is a businesswoman, a lot of time we think logically. We might apply what we did to our business to our relationship. So if I'm going to get into a legal contract with a man, let's say I'm going to marry him, that's a legal contract right there. We're going to be business partners. So I need to figure out who you are as a man. I need to figure out what you're going to do, where you going, where are your finances, what your credit score is like. Do you own any homes? Do you have any stocks? Do you even know how to read a candlestick chart? What about your life insurance? Do you have a 401k plan? These are things that I'm going to want to know. Do you have a living trust? What's going on with you? Because if we're going to sit here, we're going to have a legal contract. Even if we're going to sit here and we're going to have kids together, these are things that I need to know. I'm not going to just let some random man who's broke or some shit lead me somewhere. That's not how this is going to go at all. Now, it may be some bird brain basicers out there that may do that. And I remember there was a time where I could have possibly did that. That's why I use my life as a tool to try to help girls. I try to use my life, my cautionary tales about what happened to me and my life, and encourage women to not do those things. I tell women to go out there and chase their career, go get their money, handle their business. The reason why I say that, the reason why I encourage them not to participate in hypergamy, where they're dating up and they're keeping all of their money in their pocket, is because one of these days, maybe the man that you're married to or in a relationship with, whether you have kids with him or not, may change his mind about you. He may grow into becoming a different person and may need a different type of woman. Okay. And he may file for divorce. People say, get married first. Don't marry before you carry. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I've said this before, and I'll say it 300 more times so y'all niggas can get it. I have a group of single mothers. It is 3,000 single mothers in that group. 40% of those mothers are divorced, and the fathers of their children have not seen their children. Marriage is not going to save you if you're dealing with a man who doesn't want to be a father. Forget the fact he might be a bad husband. He might be a bad boyfriend. He don't know how to deal with you romantically. He doesn't have emotional intelligence and doesn't know how to deal with you. But if he wants to be a father, he's going to be a father to those kids, whether he's with you or not. So marriage is not going to save you. And I keep using my story as an example of, do not rely on men for room and board, for your survival. My son's father left me to die in a fucking hotel. And instead of women actually using my story as a cautionary tale so it won't affect their life, so they can make a better decision, these hoes are laughing at my pain, right? Laughing at the story, basically saying that's why I should have dated a man who's wealthy. Well, sis, do you realize that there are wealthy men out there who did the same shit to me that to other women? There are wealthy men out there who did the same shit to other women that my son's father did to me. It is men out there who are financially stable yet still won't take care of their kids. Yeah, you know why? Because he has a screwed up character. It's just part of his character. So I keep telling these girls who keep going after these men for their money, look at their character, please. And I say it to men, look at these women's character, because a lot of them, if you are a nice guy and you are affluent, she's only coming after your money. Look at her character. Even if she's making her own money, she's going to classify you as quote unquote a provider. And if you don't provide, she's going to classify you as a weak person, or that you failed at leadership, when that's not the case. As a man, if you are a man and you are taking your legacy seriously, you need to factor in, is the woman that you dating, does she have a degree, college education? If she doesn't have a degree or college education, is she intellectual? If she's not intellectual, where does she stand with financial literacy? Who is this woman? What's her character? Stop going after women because of what they look like, Because a chick who is a baddie will take you for everything you got, and then next thing you know, you going from sleeping in a mansion to sleeping on a mattress because this bitch done drained you financially behind your back because you trusted her to be your quote unquote wife or baby mother. Because all you did was factor in what she looked like instead of what does she do with her career? What does she do? What is she doing? Men have to stop telling women you don't care. They don't care about their education or their money. That shit is important. You have to care. If you care about your legacy, you need to care because these women will strip you of everything. They will drain you. They will drain you of your money, your emotions, your everything. You'll be somewhere messed up if you keep choosing the wrong women. I promise you. So it's not a one-sided thing with me. It's me telling hypergamy chicks, stop using men for money. Go out there and get your own money. I'm not saying date a broke dude, but I'm not saying be selfish and keep your money in your pocket. Okay? With men, I'm saying, listen, you need to work on looking through a woman's character and figuring out who she is first before you think because she fine that makes her worthy of your time. That's just as stupid as a woman thinking because a man is wealthy, he is worth her time. Some of these wealthy men, and listen, these wealthy men have so many damn options. A lot of them will be sleeping with another woman behind your back anyway. And when they get done with you, you think you cute, you think you keeping him around because you beautiful. Or when your beauty fades, guess what he gonna do? Go get a younger model because these men do not care about pedophilia at all. They don't care. He'll drain you for all the good years you got. Turn around, had kids for him, you do whatever. Next thing you know, you old with two kids and shit by your quote unquote sugar daddy, and he wants somebody younger than you because he on pedo vibes. So he gonna go find the next 21-year-old to mess with. Meanwhile, when you was in your 20s, you was crawling after this dude. Now y'all divorced, you barely making any money because the judge is not playing with you ladies anymore. These judges are not rewarding you a shit ton of money anymore. They're not doing that. Okay, men are starting to get fed up with being providers. They are maintainers. They are supposed to help you maintain a lifestyle you have already created for yourself. Men and women are supposed to be power couples. Be a boss, marry a boss, build an empire. It's not supposed to be one person carrying the load. That is not a partnership. Okay, you got founder and you got co-founder. All right, they work together. It's not a one-sided situation. And that's the problem. Everybody trying to one up each other. Anyway, moving on. That's my issue with Kevin Samuels. Okay. Kevin Samuels is misleading. He's leading women into the wrong direction. There are plenty of wealthy women who went out there and chased their career first, and they should have. Because being broke with with either gender, okay? Either gender is unattractive. Someone broke regardless of their gender, is unattractive. Ain't shit romantic about being in a relationship with somebody while you broke. Go out there, get your own life independently, be confident in who you are as a woman, and then the right man will come along. But going out here just looking for a man to be your husband while you just lay around and be a quote unquote lady of leisure and don't do anything with your time, expecting him to hire chefs and nannies and tutor your kids while you do absolutely nothing but groom yourself. That's the worst thing that you could do as a woman because something could happen to this man. This man could pass away. And hopefully you ain't the one that killed him. You better hope he wrote you in the living trust instead of his kids. Because when these men put have all this money and they get their life insurance policies, 9 times out of 10, the beneficiary is their kids, and their kids don't get that money until they're 18. Get you a living trust. Anybody who's a wealthy man and you're listening to me, get you a living trust, okay? And make your living trust the beneficiary, not a person, not your wife, not your kids. Make the living trust your beneficiary. So if you pass away, People can have access to your money the way that you want them to have access to your money. You can tell them what to do with your money. But if you leave a person as your beneficiary, that person has control over what happens to that money. And a lot of times what that person's intentions are is not good. So get a living trust. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. So, Minister Jack. So the girl, so let me rewind for those of you who missed the whole story. This morning I woke up. It was 4 a.m. I get up at 4 a.m. every day. I meditate. I'm Buddhist. I go out here and I start working 4 a.m. That's what bosses do. If you don't know how to be a boss, wake up at 4 a.m. and figure it out. Okay? All right? Because that's what we doing. Okay? No boss is laying around. I promise you. Like by this time, all of us are up, especially if we're in California, because the East Coast is 3 hours ahead of us. So if we got business to handle or we got to look at the stock market or something, we got to be up early. All right. So anyway, this morning I got up. This woman comes into my Instagram. She leaves me a link to a video. Inside of the video is me in the thumbnail, and the name of the video is Businesswoman Manhandles Man on a Dating Site. I put the picture of the thumbnail in my community tab. If you don't want to listen to the rest of the live stream, you can go look at what I'm about to say because it's over there. Okay, it's on my community tab. But she didn't want to talk inside of my DM. She reached out to me, but she was like, "Bitch, you pathetic. You this." I was like, "You don't have anything valuable you can bring to me, like something that I can actually, so we can have some type of dialogue? Because this is not it, sis. This ain't it. Like I don't entertain no low energy conversations. Like, there's no point. If you don't know how to communicate like an adult, what the fuck we talking for? Why you reach out to me? That makes no sense. If we both grown and you're an intellectual person and I'm an intellectual person, let's talk like it. But calling me names and talking about stuff that don't have nothing to do with why you reached out to me doesn't make sense. So anyway, she goes into my comments. She leaves 5, 6, 7, 8 comments on damn different posts. And inside of those posts, she tagged Kevin Samuels, Minister Jap, and Bullet Scotty. Now I deleted these comments, of course, because I don't want that in my space. Like I keep trying to tell y'all, my side of the internet, I'm not gonna tolerate foolishness. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say in your own platforms, in your own spaces, but when you come over to my space, you are going to respect me. Period. Or I'm just gonna act like your ass don't exist. I block you and keep it moving like you never hit me up. So if you want to interact intellectually, please feel free. We could talk all day long. You feel me? So anyway, she did that. And I just want to set the record straight. All right. So I already let y'all know how I feel about Kevin Samuels. I have no personal beef with this dude. I am just concerned about his audience and how they feel comfortable with harassing women. Okay. Here is another thing, another problem. Minister Jap. Okay. Minister Jap is a huge problem. And let me explain why he's still a problem, even though I don't interact with him. I don't talk about him. I don't think about him. Listen, I just moved on with my life. All right. So Minister Jap and I, people that don't know the backstory of Minister Jap and I'm going to tell this story again. I told this story a couple of years back, but I'm going to tell the story again. This is the truth about our situation. I hope people understand whatever. He tends to lie about our interaction, but I'm going to keep it all the way funky. All right. All the way funky. So back in like 2015, right? I was still a dating coach for men. And because I was having some type of negative interaction with Tommy Sotomayor, right? Men were starting to believe because he and I had an issue with each other that I must not like men, right? Now, my content did not reflect that. My content was good for men. And I helped a lot of men. You know, I still talk to a lot of those men. All right. So I started to see that this rumor was spreading that I hated men. And that wasn't the case, but this was the rumor. So I decided that I was going to do collaborations with any male content creator or YouTube I could find that I appreciated his content, and maybe he was giving positive advice to women. I also wanted to reach out to male content creators who didn't have such a huge following as my own. Okay. Mine was big at the time. I think I was like 30,000 subscribers in, maybe 20,000, something like that. It was over 10,000. And so I was reaching out to content creators who had under 10,000 subscribers because I wanted to help them gain more, to just the benefit off of my audience. All right. So I just happened to be searching the internet, and I found, well, just YouTube, and I found Minister Jack. And at that time, his channel was empty. It wasn't like a lot of videos up there, and it wasn't videos up there of him disrespecting women. That just wasn't up there. If I'd saw that then, I would have just skipped over him and kept moving. He didn't have that type of stuff up there. All right. So I reached out to him and I asked him, did he want to do a collaboration? He was not the only man that I did that to. I did that to a bunch of different content creators. Okay. And some of them we collaborated on like graphic design work, or we collaborated on other platforms, or some type of business that they were doing, some type of charity or philanthropy, anything, something. It wasn't just YouTube video. So, but with Jab, it was YouTube. So I reached out to Jab and I asked him, did he want to collab? Okay. Now, for some reason, he and I had like this interaction with each other where we liked each other. We were interested in each other. We were sweet on each other, right? So I was just like, man, I kind of like this dude, like his personality is all right. He's a decent looking dude. I think he has potential to be something better on YouTube. Like he could go real far if he just takes it, a little bit more serious, right? And so I was talking it over with him. Now, mind you, I didn't add him on any social media platform yet, just YouTube. And we got to talking on the phone, and we decided to do a couple of videos together. Now, we agreed to do maybe 3 or 4, but as we were sitting there talking about the ideas on what we could collab with on our first video, he decided that he wanted to um, talk about my celibacy, because if you don't know this, I spent most of my adult life celibate. Right? Now, I've had bouts of promiscuity, right? Because, well, y'all classify it as promiscuity. I classify it as polyamory. And a lot of people believe that polyamory is, like a negative thing, but polyamory is more of a positive thing because usually it has a lot of honesty in it. Okay. People aren't hurting each other. And what I've noticed in a lot of monogamous relationships, a lot of people get inside of these relationships and they're harming one another. They're lying to each other. They're sneaking behind each other's back, sleeping with other people. So my polyamorous relationships, we always just kept it a buck with one another. And if they were sleeping with other people, they would tell me. If I was sleeping with other people, they would know. No one would be in the dark about the situation. So that's what made it a comfortable situation. No one was getting hurt. Everybody was protecting themselves, at least from interacting with me. Most of the men I dated during that time of me being polyamorous wore protection, because you can't be all willy-nilly like that. You really screw yourself up. But I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. So with Jap, I met him around the time I had been celibate for a couple of years, and this was after I had ended um, the couple of years I was in polyamory. The couple of years I was polyamorous. So after each relationship, right, I spent a couple of years by myself. Like, I have been broken up with my son's father since about 2016, right? 2017. I've been broken up from priest. I haven't really dated like that because I like to, once I get out of a relationship, I like to chill. I don't want to just jump into another one. Okay. So anyway, me and Jap, um, he said he wanted to do a video about my celibacy. And he disagreed with the fact that I should be celibate, or that it was about the 90-day rule, really. Because with the 90-day rule, I was telling women, wait 30 days, not necessarily wait 30 days and it's going to guarantee you some type of positive response out of him. It's more of wait 90 days just to see who he is. Just to see who he is in those 90 days. Because a man could flat out show you anybody. He could be anything for a month. He could be anything for 3 months. He could be anything for 6 months. That he could pretend to be that towards you. So at least wait a little while first. And so Jap's point was women shouldn't do that. They should just go ahead and give it up on the first night. So because he believed that women should give it up on the first night, and I believe that women should date 30 days, it just made sense to do a collaboration. So after we did the video, right? I put the video up on YouTube. I helped it go viral because I put money into it. You know, you can promote videos on YouTube. I usually buy YouTube and Facebook advertising. So I posted the video up on my YouTube. I posted it up on my Facebook, and I pay for advertising. So the video went viral, right? So I ended up adding Jap on Facebook. Like, he sent me a Facebook request. I don't think he knew I was going to put the video on Facebook. So once he found out that it was on Facebook, I think he sent me a friend request, and we ended up being friends on Facebook. When I became his Facebook friend is when everything changed. I didn't become his Facebook friend until after we did the collaboration and after the video. When I looked at his Facebook page, everything that he was saying on his Facebook page was negative about women. And I said, oh shit, this dude hate women. Now, mind you, I should have known better because he was telling me that he was a big fan of Tommy. He kept saying he loved Tommy Sotomayor, right? He loved this dude. So he was telling me that. I just didn't think that he wanted to also be that type of creator, type of content creator. Like when you think about YouTube, you think about people uniquely being themselves. You don't think about them trying to be like somebody else. So I thought Jab was gonna do like videos that were more fun, you know, more because he has like this big personality. He's like a really funny dude, right? So I was like, he is going to use his channel for something a little bit more lighthearted than that. I didn't think he was gonna go be that dirty. You know what I'm saying? The content that he posts is filthy. I never in a million years would have thought Jab would be that filthy. Honestly, filthy. I didn't know he was like that. I thought he was going to be a little bit more um like receptive to women because he claimed to be like this ladies man, and I was really digging Jab, and he led me to believe that he was really digging me, right? This is what he led me to believe. Was it true? I don't know. Okay, so we were talking a lot. He had called me while he was out, especially when he was drinking. He used to get drunk as fuck, go to the club and call me. He'd be with other chicks. Jab would be with other chicks, get on the phone and call me and be talking to me. And it was cute, you know. I was like, he's this silly ass guy. But I noticed once we got on Facebook, I started to see something different. So I came to him. I said, listen, I can't keep working with you. Like, we can't collab more if this is the type of content that you're going to be posting, right? If you're going to be posting content that's going to be negative towards women, it makes no sense for me to keep collaborating with you. I said it. I flat out told him. I wasn't like being shady or nothing. I flat out said it to him because I needed him to understand, like, I don't have an issue with communication. Like, communication easy for me. I like you, and I think you have all this potential, but homie, if you posting negative content about women and I'm a woman, what I look like continuing to collab with you? Like, if this is where you going with your content, we can't do this. You know what I mean? And and Jap's response was basically, bitch, I can post whatever the fuck I want. This is when shit went left. I hung up and I stopped answering the phone. And he was calling and calling and calling and calling. I mean, I'm talking 40, 60 times a day, leaving text messages, and he did it for like months. He would finally got upset, okay? So upset with me, he started making videos. So I'm making videos back and forth with this dude because no matter how much I ignore him, no matter where I go, what I'm doing, he's interrupting all of my live streams. I get on a live stream, he comes into it, crashes it. No matter how many times I block him, he creates another profile, crashes the live stream. Does it over and over and over and over again, right? And even if I'm not making videos about the dude, he's still doing it. And I'm just like, oh my God, something is wrong with this dude. Calling me, texting me, leaving voicemail messages. It was just insane. It was insane. Okay. So it got to a point where we going back and forth. So instead of Job like giving me my fucking space and just letting it go, he decides he wants to dig into my personal life. He wants to find any guy that he believes I've dated or anybody that has something negative to say about me, and he wants to interview or befriend them. Anybody he could find. Anybody, right? So he's interviewing my ex. He interviewed my ex Lloyd. And I remember when Lloyd, when Minister Jack reached out to Lloyd, Lloyd called me and he said, I'm not doing an interview with this dude. Like I feel it unnecessary. And I don't think that this is a good idea. I'm just not gonna do it. This is what Lloyd said to me. Next thing you know, I guess Jap done created some lie to tell this dude. This dude does the interview. And he's basically saying something along the lines that I lied about being pregnant or I lied about a miscarriage or something weird like that. And I'm like, Lloyd, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you was there when I was pregnant. You was there when I had a miscarriage. So why the fuck are you listening to some dude on the internet that I've never physically met, that he and I ain't never physically met each other, but you and I have known each other for years? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you're listening to a lot of bullshit. So Lloyd was fucked up anyway. He's still a fucked up dude. He's still fucked up. So I was like, whatever, moving on. But then he found Chris, right? He found Chris Law. So then me and Chris, and this goes back to the whole polyamory thing that I was talking about earlier with Chris, right? Once again, and I hope y'all hear me good one time, because I want to, after I talk about this, I'm trying to let this go. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I hate that people keep reaching out to me about this. Okay. And this is something I may have to deal with for a couple more years, but I'm going to talk about this, and this is just going to be it. I don't want to keep talking about it because I talked about it so much before, and it's just like people want to believe what they want to believe. Okay. So when I met Chris led me to believe that he was polyamorous, his wife was polyamorous, and that them two was inside of the swingers lifestyle, right? He wanted to introduce me to that lifestyle. I knew nothing about polyamory at the time. I knew nothing about it. I wasn't, that type of person. I didn't know about it yet. Chris introduced me to it. So Chris was married, but he led me to believe that him and his wife were poly. So that's why I felt a little bit more comfortable with doing it. However, I wasn't interested in being in a relationship anyway, because I just got out of a relationship with Lloyd. And Lloyd and I had, I got pregnant. I had a miscarriage, and he and I got into a physical fight. We were no longer engaged anymore. So it just hurt me that I was going through what I was going through with Lloyd. And usually after I get out of a relationship, I don't want to hop into another one. So with Chris, he was not interested in being in a relationship. He couldn't. He couldn't be in a monogamous relationship. He could only be in a poly one. So I started interacting with Chris. Now, I met Chris through the Eastern Star Order that I was attached to. Chris is a Mason. Okay. Well, at least he was, I'm not sure if he was one then. I think he was trying to become one then, and then he's one now. But back then, but you know what? He was. Yeah, he was. He was one then. And so I was introduced to him by one of his Masonic brothers. One of his Masonic brothers he and I were dating, right? And I ended up finding out that he was like in a relationship with a woman who was rich, and she was taking care of him, and she was pregnant. So, and I'm not talking about Chris, I'm talking about the guy that introduced me to Chris. Okay. I found that out about him, so I stopped dealing with him because I didn't know that that was his situation, right? I thought he was just a personal trainer who was like single, and he just wanted to like have somebody to chill with sometimes. Because, like I said, I wasn't looking for a relationship. All right. So I wanted to be a Eastern Star. He was already a Mason. So he brought me around his Masonic brothers. He introduced me to all of them, not just Chris. Chris was the one that I liked. I liked his personality. He was funny. He was real chill. We meshed very well. Like, we were just extremely compatible with each other, right? So we started hanging out, just hanging out. And we ended up having sex. I initiated the sex. Even though Chris said to me that he wanted to be polyamorous, I was not interested in polyamory, but I did initiate the sex with him. Okay? I knew he was married. Okay? However, I believe that he and his wife were poly. If you know anything about being poly, that means you have multiple partners and everybody knows what's going on. Now, at the same token, right, my ass wanted to have a level of respect for her. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to keep my distance from that. So Chris would come to me and he would talk to me about her. But what could I do other than be his friend and listen? That's all I could do. And then give him like relief from his stress. Because that's all he and I were for. That's all we were doing. We weren't supposed to do more than that. Okay? So we're interacting with each other. Everything's going smooth. Then suddenly it's not. He's getting married because the girl that he was like talking to was a flight attendant. So she was barely around. And he ended up marrying her. He wasn't married to her when we met. She was just his girlfriend, but they were headed down the road. They were about to get married. They were engaged. And so they ended up getting married. And even after they got married, I still was sleeping with Chris. Now keep in mind in your back of your mind, I was thinking they was poly. Okay. I didn't think that they were in a monogamous relationship or that he was portraying to her like he was monogamous but portraying to me like he was poly. You understand? I didn't know that. I thought to some degree this woman knew he was sleeping around with other women because she gave him the go. Right? So this is before I met Minister Jap, years before. So Jap and Chris end up meeting each other because I reached out to Chris, right? Because I was putting out a book. Now, y'all know I'm a writer. If you don't know I'm a writer, I'm a writer. I have a book called On the Opulence. On the Opulence is not my first book. It's just the first book that I put on Amazon. Okay? Before that, I wrote Unicorn Atlanta. Inside of Unicorn Atlanta, it was a story about how I got into the polyamorous lifestyle with Chris. Okay? So I reached out to Chris to ask Chris, did he want a percentage of whatever I was making from the book? I didn't even get a chance to ask him that shit. All I said was hi. Like the first, I just hit up Facebook Messenger. I saw his account. I was like, hi. That's all I put, right? I didn't put, hey, Chris, I want to, see if you want a percentage. I didn't even get to even start the conversation. And he basically disrespected the fuck out of me and basically said, you was a hoe and I treated you as such. Now, last time I checked, me and Chris was, cool. Like we had our regular spats that any regular, like, two people who are fucking with each other would have, but it was never like no real, like, solid beef there. You know what I'm saying? And anytime we've gotten into it, Chris, he's actually went out his way to apologize to me. So it wasn't that type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? We were friends more than anything. So if he like blocked me on social media, I had no idea. So before the time I reached out to him to say hi, if he had me blocked, I had no idea. Right? All I know is I was writing a book called Unicorn Atlanta. I wrote the book and he was in it. So when I reached out to him and I said it to him and he said, you a hoe and I treated you as such, and I didn't even get a chance to tell him about the book, I was like, oh, nigga, damn. First of all, we was hoeing together and I never, ever disrespected you and made you feel like less of a man because of your situation with you and your ex-wife. Because it did end up divorcing her after. So anyway, um, I got upset, right? I get on the YouTube and it's just, it was the perfect storm because I was calling Chris before I was recording the video to promote the book. So had he not responded negatively, I never would have posted a video that was that negative. I posted the video and I said, listen, ladies, I wrote a book called Unicorn Atlanta, and this nigga Chris basically disrespected the absolute fuck out of me when I reached out to him just to say hello. And I said to women, never, ever explore sexual anything for a man. Do it for yourself. What happened in my life is cautionary. Don't do that with these type of guys because they're going to look at you as if you are a hoe, even if they're hoeing with you. These men don't think that they're hoes when they are. They don't consider their negative or bad behavior as hoe shit. They think you the one being out of pocket when they are the ones inside of the relationships. They are the ones inside of the marriages. You the single one. So instead of them changing their behavior or classifying that behavior as bad, they classify a woman's behavior bad. And that she should have a little more self-control than them because women are smarter than them, sharper than them. We have more self-control than them. We're just better people than them, right? Basically. So that's what I was telling women. I was telling them, you could buy the Unicorn Atlanta book. Let's hook it up, right? Put the link out there. Put the book cover out there. Chris comes into my YouTube comment section, mad as fuck that I put a screenshot of the message he sent me calling me on. He upset because I told the world it was him who introduced me to polyamory. He in my comment section mad. Minister Jack finds him and them two start interacting with each other. Next thing you know, they having this long-term bromance with each other. Next thing you know, they teaming together. And this is how you know dudes aren't loyal as fuck. They aren't loyal. They aren't loyal to women. They may be loyal to each other, but they're not loyal to women. Because even to this day, if a woman that used to date Chris or was married to Chris reaches out to me, our interaction will be very tiny. I'm not going to sit up there and build a friendship with her. I'm not going to sit there and pump her for questions. I'm not going to do that because I feel like I have a level of respect for Chris. So I'm not going to involve myself that has anything to do with his life like that. I'm not going to go find out who his exes are. I'm not doing it. It's not worth all that. But the fact that Minister Jack was doing this and he and I didn't even have any type of interaction with each other sexually was just weird to me. Okay. So anyway, Jap was still doing his same everyday call me. I'm blocking his numbers. He's getting new numbers. He's telling other people to call me. He's texting the fuck out of me. He's emailing the fuck out of me. I'm emailing this nigga back sometimes like, nigga, can you please stop doing whatever the fuck you doing? It's times he was like doing shit, right? And I'll just send him a positive message like, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, or some shit like that, just to let him know that I'm not beefing with him. That's not that deep, but he just had like this, he was just angry. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where Chris and Jap started texting me pretending they was a woman. They was texting me pretending they was a woman who needed relationship advice. And this woman started asking me questions about Chris and Jap. And she was pretending to be a woman. Next thing you know, I found out after she asked me about the Order of the Eastern Star. And I don't talk about the Order of the Eastern Star. That's not something that's private to me. So when she asked me about the Order of the Eastern Star, I said no. This is when Chris revealed that the whole time it's been him and Jap texting me pretending to be a woman. And I was like, these little niggas are weird. This is when I started to realize that something wasn't right with the two of them. Like something was off. And next thing you know, all types of videos of Chris and Jap together, them making it seem like I'm stalking them. But it's literally the other way around. But they are depicting it as if I'm provoking them. When really, anytime I'm mentioning them, it's in response to the shit that they're doing. But they were using my responses as a tool to project this lie out there that I was stalking them. So Jab was getting onto Patreon and telling people, making all of these videos about me, telling people, that I was stalking him and I do all of this and I'm a hoe and all of this extra shit, right? And of course, I'm thinking to myself, like, I can't believe somebody that I believed in or I invested my money and my time into is this kind of dude. It was just so disappointing to me because I just was like, I cannot believe that this is who this dude is. Because I never would have guessed in a million years that this is who he was. And it's the same thing with Chris. So both of them just started to be two fucking pigs. Now, as time went on, the beef with them started wearing me down because I was just no longer interested. And I kept saying, I'm not interested in the beef. I don't care what they're doing. Eventually, Jap flew to Atlanta and met Chris, and I'm pretty sure he's done it again since, because when someone does some weird shit and it becomes a pattern, it's just two weird motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no doubt that they are still interacting with each other, right? But Jap started like interviewing just anybody he could find in my life, anybody who was dumb enough to listen, anybody. And he ended up reaching out to Priest once I started dating Priest. Now, me and Priest was fine for, most of our relationship. We were fine. And it wasn't until after I got pregnant that he started talking to me about Jap. Most of our arguments started to be about Jap, or that things that Jap said, or that rumors that Jap, made up. And I couldn't believe I was sitting here having an argument with the man I love in real life about some fictional character online that I worked with years earlier. Like someone who was online pretending to be something and lying about me to the guy that I'm about to have a baby with. And this nigga actually believes him instead of me. Like I've ever lied to him, right? I never lied to Priest before. Never, we never had any drama. It was always like some issues with maybe him and the bullshit with Sidonia. And for those of you that don't know, that should know this by now, Priest is my son's father. Sidonia is his ex-wife. The both of them led me to believe that even though they were just separated, that their relationship was over. Sidonia was dating someone else, right? And Priest had been dating other women before he started dating me. So anytime me and Priest would have a problem, and it would be a small problem, it has something to do with Sidonia doing something out of pocket, right? But anytime I would interact with Sidonia, she would always make it clear that she had moved on with somebody else and she just wanted to help my relationship with Priest. And I kept saying to Priest, like, if you want to be back with Sidonia, you can be back with Sidonia. Just let me go on about my business. So them two had officially had broken up, and then they would supposedly have filed for divorce. And I ended up pregnant with my son. And then I remember after I got pregnant with my son, all of the arguments started to be about Jap. They weren't even about Sidonia. Our arguments were shit that Jap say, something that Jap said, what he heard, what him and Jap was talking about. And I was confused as to why are you talking to Jap? You know what I mean? So my issue with Jap is more deep rooted than some online internet shit. He affected the way that my son is growing up. And that's a problem for me. And I will never forgive him for the foolishness that he did simply because he was upset that I didn't want to interact with him anymore. And he isn't honest about that. He lies about why he's doing what he's doing. Because I've never been mean to him. I had never been mean to him, before he started acting like crazy. So with Priest, Priest was more important to my life and my son's life than Chris was. Like, Chris was just a guy that I had a polyamorous relationship years ago. Priest and I have a kid together. We have a son. And so Jap was messing around with my family. And that's a problem because I never messed around with his family. Regardless of how many people reached out to me about Minister Jap, I never indulged in the shit because I felt like that's out of pocket. Like, whatever's happening online should stay online. So anytime somebody in his family reached out to me, or anybody that was like somebody that he went to high school with, or some girl that used to date him or something, I left it at that. I didn't interview her. I didn't try to find out who she was, what was going on. I didn't do all that because I felt like that was out of pocket. That's too much. It's okay to have like a little spat online, but to go into people's personal lives is just too much. So instead of him saying that about me, he tried to make it seem like I was doing to him the same thing he was doing to me. Now, I did ended up finding out his cousin reached out to me, and it hurt me when I found out who his cousin truly was, because his cousin and I were talking and we were really cool, right? I liked him, not in a romantic way, the way that I like Jap or anything, or the way that I was dealing with Chris, but we had a good little rapport. Like, we were good friends, like good little, not friends like offline, but like little online friends. And I enjoyed talking to him. And then after we talked to each other for about a month and a half, he revealed that he was Jap's cousin. And I was like, the fuck? You who? And I got upset with him because I didn't want anything to do with Jap at this point. Jap had already messed up my relationship with my son's father, and I wouldn't even blame Jap for it if our arguments that I was having with my son's father had to do with Jap. Like, if Priest wasn't continuously bringing up Jap at the end of our relationship, I would not be as upset with Jap as I am. Now, the biggest problem with this whole thing with Jap is that even though I leave Jap alone, I don't talk about Jap, I don't send people to him, people keep reaching out to me about him. And it's been years and it keeps happening. It happens all the time. And I consistently have to block people. And it's mainly men. Because for some reason, these men are under the impression that I go around stalking Jap, or that I got this big beef with Jap, and then what Jap said about me is true. What Jap says about me is not true. Jap lies about me because he's hurt by our situation. And instead of being a man and saying that, he is saying a whole bunch of other shit that has nothing to do with it being the truth. He used to use me as his poster child or his trampoline to pop off his YouTube channel. That's what he does. He is worried about self-preservation. He don't care about nobody else. He care about Jack. He don't care that my son walking around here without his father because of something he did. He don't look at it that way. He too selfish to look at it that way. So I don't care how many years go by. I don't care what's going on with Jap. I don't care how popular he gets. I don't care if he ends up having the same amount of followers as Kevin Samuels got. Makes no difference to me. He will always be low energy to me. He will always be a piece of shit to me because of what he's done to my son. Any man who's grown up with their father, you understand what I'm talking about. Any man who has grown up without their father, and it harmed you in any type of way, wouldn't you feel some type of way? Too, if you had your own kids and another person affected the way that their father treats their kids. Minister Jap had a huge impact on the way that Priest treats justice. That's my issue with Jap. Because Jap, let me tell you something. When Jap found out I was pregnant, matter of fact, Jap was one of the first people that I told was pregnant. Because when I started dating Priest, me and Jap had a conversation and decided to squash beef. I thought everything was done. I had the same conversation with Chris. I thought me and Chris was cool and the beef was done. But they still got back on the internet and talk shit. So after I thought me and Jack was cool, right? I got online and I said it in the video. I said, finally, me and Jap done ironed our shit out. Like, we chilling, you know what I'm saying? And it's good that we could do that. Because it's really not that serious anyway. So when I got pregnant with my son, I told Jap. I think my mother was the first person to know. And I think the second person I told myself, I said it out loud, was Jap. Right? So he told me, I think after me and Priest started having like little weird issues, Jap got on the phone with me and told me that I should break up with Priest, that Priest was dirty Dick Rodney, and that I needed a better man in my life than him, and I need to focus on my son and put Priest on child support. So meanwhile, behind my back, he's talking to Priest, telling Priest shit about me, negative shit about me, purposely trying to break me and Priest up. And I'm sitting here like, I didn't realize this at the time. Now in hindsight, I see what he was doing. But when Priest and I was together, I didn't know that Jap was doing that. So Jap was talking all of this shit to Priest and going back, just affecting my real life. And I would never do that. I would never do that. I didn't do it to Chris. Chris baby mama reached out to me. I wasn't having it. I left that conversation short and sweet. I didn't sit down and interact with her. I didn't do none of that shit. Because it's a certain level of respect for your privacy and your family there. Like, I could sit up there, like, let me give you an example of some shit that just people on YouTube that be doing that's too much. Because the YouTube communities on here are crazy. Somehow somebody found out who Chris Law's daughter was, and she had created a YouTube channel. So these weird ass people decided that they wanted to come together and make up this story and pretend to be her reaching out to me. Her friend reached out to me. They pretended to be her friend who was reaching out to me to talk about Chris, and gave me her YouTube channel, her email address, all of this information about her, what school she went to, all of this stuff, right? Made up the story. So I ended up emailing her, like, listen, we need to have a conversation. Because, see, my thing was, I don't want anybody in Chris's family to, like, take this so far that it's ruining his relationship with his family members. I tried to tell to tell Chris. I tried to tell Chris, like, you need to stop interacting with these people on YouTube, because I knew then, like, once they sent me the information and it come to find out that that wasn't his daughter's friend, and that was just some people on YouTube pretending to be his daughter's friend, reaching out to me to pretend like she wanted to talk to me. I knew then that Chris was dealing with a bunch of people he shouldn't have been dealing with. So I said it to him. I told him. He listened. And that's a part of my cautionary tale with women too. Like, when you choose men to be friends with or relationship with, you have to understand you got to choose these men who are secure. Because if you choose an insecure man to be friends with, it, no matter how good you are to him, no matter how kind you are to him, no matter how honest you are with him, he is still not going to trust you. It's no reason in the world why Chris should even trust Jack, but he does. It's no reason in the world why Chris should have chose his friendship with Jack over making things cordial with me. I'm the one who kept a shit ton of his secrets. I'm the one who he met first. I'm the one who he was cool with. I'm the one he slept with. Yet, at the end of the day, no matter how cool I was, no matter how nice I was, no matter how chill I was, he still chose to build a friendship with someone who purposely used him as a tool to try to hurt me. And that doesn't make any sense. No person should do that. Like, when you meet somebody and they're using you as a tool to hurt someone else, don't stay friends with them. That's a toxic friendship. Don't be cordial with them. Don't invite them to your city, your house, your place of employment, your work. No person should do that. And as a woman, I feel like I should have made a better choice when I wanted it. And even if, polyamory is not a bad thing. There's people out there who are happy in polyamorous relationships. I just wish I would have chose a better dude to have a polyamorous relationship with, because it shouldn't have been Chris. Chris is a fucked up dude. He's a fucked up dude. And so when I tell my stories about these experiences that I had with Jap or Chris or Priest, I'm here to tell women to not make the same choices that I have. Because regardless to whether it's a whole bunch of chicks out here claiming they would never do it, a lot of them have done it or will do it. It's women out here trying to pretend like they ain't never slept with a married man before. But plenty of women have done it. Plenty of women are doing it. And plenty of women are doing it because of circumstances like what Chris led me to believe, that him and his wife were poly and they weren't. But instead of Chris getting on the internet saying, yeah, I told Soncerae we were poly and she thought we were poly, that's why she went ahead and slept with me, he tells everyone that I was like this sneaky mistress who just tried to just ruin his marriage and shit. And that's not the case. But that's what he wants everybody to believe. Okay? And it's the same thing with Jap. Jap tries to make it seem like he's some type of victim, like I did something to him, and I didn't. So, defending myself against them came to a boiling point last year during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, a rumor that started long before the pandemic came up again. Okay? Someone again was going around telling people I committed suicide. Okay? I wrote about this in my book. In 2015, 16, one of those years, a rumor started that I was committing, or I had committed suicide, or I was thinking about committing suicide. Right? Now, I am honest about the time period where I was considering committing suicide. I did consider it because what was happening was I was being severely stalked and harassed by Tommy Sotomayor's audience. And Tommy Sotomayor's audience kept telling me to kill myself. So around that time, being as though I was being told that all day, every day by people, it was hard to continue to be on YouTube, do YouTube videos, and look at my comment sections and emails and text messages of me telling people telling me to kill myself every day. So I thought about it. I did. The stuff that they were saying was hurtful. They was, basically talking about the color of my skin, my weight, my hair, everything, anything. They could pull me down in any type of way. And during that time, I did not understand how to decipher, the difference between people who are miserable with their own life versus people, that really mean to tell me to kill myself. Because it's really not, no real person would, who is mentally stable is going to tell another person to kill themselves. They're just not. So I thought about it, and that was like in 2015, 2016. And so this rumor was going around that I had a gun in a video, right? And once that rumor passed, I thought it was gone. But even though the rumor had passed, people were still hitting me up telling me to kill myself. So in 2020, during the pandemic, in March, during the pandemic, right? Somehow this rumor is resurfacing again, and I'm starting to see it more. I'm starting to see the rumor, and I'm starting to see people like telling me to kill myself. At the same time, right? Because, and this goes back to, this is another perfect storm, right? It's a perfect storm. At the same time, I just did an interview with this guy named Suge. And Suge and I was talking about Chris in the interview. Now, I don't do a lot of interviews. Most people know that. I'm not an interviewee type of person. I don't let people interview me. Because the couple of times I let people interview me, like Nicole Michelle, I let Nicole Michelle interview me on her channel. Okay? And she basically stabbed me in my fucking back. Because as I was doing the interview, for some reason, she decided to let people come on to the live stream interview without my permission. She didn't ask me. So in comes Angry Man in the middle of me doing an interview with Nicole Michelle. In comes Angry Man. And during this time, I wasn't cool with Angry Man because Angry Man found out that I was pregnant, right? And even though Jap and everybody was making fun of me when I was pregnant, Angry Man said to me that he wasn't going to do that. He said, it's too sensitive of a situation. I'm just not going to be the one to do that. But then he ended up doing it anyway. And ever since then, I just didn't fuck with him. So I'm sitting on the interview with Nicole Michelle, and in comes Angry Man. And I'm thinking to myself, Nicole, why the fuck are you, number one, letting people get on the live stream with me when I didn't give you permission to do that? Because I'm not interested in that. And why the fuck is it Angry Man? Or people that don't like me? She let another person in on the live stream, and the second this person gets on the live stream, they're talking about how much they hate me. And this is what made me kind of standoffish about Nicole. Because I was like, Nicole, you're supposed to protect me. This is your channel. You asked me to come onto your channel. I said, okay. I showed you love. I didn't say no. I didn't give you a hard time. And you don't even look out for me? That was fucked up to me. That was fucked up. So anyway, I don't do interviews like that. So Uncle Shug wanted to do an interview. We're doing an interview about my YouTube channel. We didn't really talk about Chris a lot. I don't even think we talked about, I think we talked about Chris for a little while. And people got mad at him because he didn't like ask the questions that they wanted him to ask me. He didn't ask me all of these shit ton of, like he didn't ask me questions about Chris, and that's what they wanted to know. So I did the interview with Suge. After the interview with Suge happened, Suge hit me up and said, Chris wants to do an interview. Now, this is what bugs the absolute fuck out of me, because when Chris does interviews, he tries to make it seem like I'm stalking him or I'm causing him problems. But if he wants to be left alone about the situation, he wouldn't be doing interviews, and he for damn sure wouldn't be reaching out to someone who didn't reach out to him about a goddamn interview. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you don't want to deal with somebody, you don't want to like have anything to do with a person who is causing you problems, you're not going to get on the internet and do an interview about them. Period. You don't want to have nothing to do with that shit. So when Shook told me this, I said, listen, even though it made me feel some type of way, and I didn't want Shook to do it, I can't control Shook. I could control Shook. So I said, Shook, I would support you regardless to what you do, but I don't think that it's a good idea to interview Chris. Meanwhile, I'm talking to Mark. I'm like, if Suge does this interview, I can't fuck with Suge. I can't fuck with him. Because loyalty, like when you loyal inside of a friendship, right? Or you real cool with somebody. If they decide to interact with your enemy or somebody that's causing your life's problems, you don't need to fuck with them. Okay? I'm just letting you know now. If you have a friend or somebody that you interacting with and y'all cool as shit, and then somebody that you beef with reach out to that person, and that person continues or decides to interact with that person and be cool with that person, you don't need to be friends with them. So I'm talking to Mark. Y'all know Mark, my homie. Mark been my best friend for 10 plus years. I'm talking to Mark. I said, if Suge do this damn interview with Chris, it should gonna make me mad. I already got enough going on. It's too much going on in my personal life. And on top of this, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of shit on the internet. I said, I cannot deal with this suicide stuff. I can't deal with this Chris stuff, all this stuff happening in my personal life. I'm stressed. I can't do it. I can't do it. I said, if he do this interview, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck. Right? I can't emotionally and mentally handle this anymore, because I have been sitting here defending myself and telling people the truth, and people calling me a liar and all types of stuff, and Chris and Jap and Priest and this stuff. Like, it's just too much. I was like, this is too much drama. And I don't have drama in my real life. It's always internet drama. And anytime I have drama in my real life, it's because of some shit from some people on the internet. And I was just like, man, and they keep trying to make it seem like it's me. Like I started something with them, and I didn't. So, right, I'm upset. I'm thinking Suge not gonna do it. I'm like, nah, Suge not gonna do that to me. He not gonna do that to me. You know what I mean? He's not gonna do it. Like, I doubt it. Guess what? Suge did it. Suge did it. And when he did it, and I found out, I had some sort of weird, like, I don't know, like some type of, I don't know, it was like an emotional breakdown of some kind. I can't even define it, but I shut down altogether. But what made me shut down right after that is I saw someone else say something about me dying. And after that, I just shut down. I just shut down all across the board. I didn't post. I logged off. I deleted excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I deleted all of the apps off of my phone. I shut my phone off. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't tell anybody nothing. I mean, I literally disappeared for like enough time for people to be worried. Okay, because I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to deal with anything. I didn't want to deal with my son, my mother, my daughter, my nothing. I needed to be by myself, right? So whole week goes by. I finally did service resurface with my mother and my daughter, but my mother and my daughter and my son were the only three that I was talking to. I didn't talk to anybody else. Not Mark, not none of my friends, not none of my admins, not none of my moderators, nobody. Nobody from the internet. Whole week go by. like a whole week. And I get like message. I finally decided to look at the phone, and this rumor that I committed suicide done spread. I mean, everywhere. Not just in the YouTube community, but on Facebook, because my moderators and my admins also heard the rumor that I passed away, and because I wasn't saying anything, they thought it was true and started posting that shit on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I was like, oh. I took 5 months off. I just didn't talk to anybody. I just didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing for 5 months. I just couldn't. Like, I was so done. I was so done with Jap. I was so done with Chris. I was done with Priest. I was done with Sidonia. I was done with everything that had to do with the internet. I had no intention whatsoever to make any more videos, to do nothing. I want to have nothing to do with the internet. You hear me? So whatever was happening on the internet around that time, I had no clue. Like, whatever people were saying, videos they was making, I didn't know because I was not present. I did not care. Meanwhile, my admins and moderators are trying to keep my YouTube and shit up because they don't know what to do with it because I'm not saying shit. I'm not telling them what to do. And then finally, my daughter, I think my daughter posted something on my Facebook just telling everybody, just mind their business. And I appreciate those that love my mother. I think she said something along the lines of that. And then we left it at that. And then when I did finally decide to come back, um, I think one of the first things I did was start writing. Because a lot of people, what you don't know is I was a singer and songwriter before I was any of the things that I am now. So I started writing for producers again. So I started singing. And one of the first things that I posted was a song that I wrote. And when I looked inside of my comment section and I seen all of these people talk about, you faked your death, all this other thing, I was like, these people have no idea. what the fuck I have been dealing with. And I said, if these people really believe that I faked my death, you know what? I'm okay with them leaving. If they mad at me because they feel like I did something that malicious, they were never my fans to begin with. They don't know genuinely who I am, because Smith, Soncerae Monique Smith would never do that. I would never pretend I died or fake suicide to hurt people. People I know love me. I would not do that. So when I got back on the internet, and then I found out that my my distant cousin, who I hadn't seen in like 20 years, had did an interview with Tommy, I guess, I'm assuming. Um, I can't remember how that went at all. But I do know that my cousin supposedly said something, and I hadn't seen my cousin in so long. Like, I don't even remember. I know nothing about my cousin, by the way. My cousin Raquel. My cousin Raquel decided to get on Tommy Sotomayor's channel and say stuff. I guess she was texting. I'm not sure, because I don't think she like came on and did like a video or anything. But I think she did like sent emails, maybe. I'm not sure. Cause I can't watch all of this stuff that y'all be making about me. I really can't. Like, I can't. That shit is too much. Like, I don't got time for that. So but I hadn't seen my cousin and had like a real conversation with her since my early 20s, and I'm 41. So I think I saw her one time. Me and Priest went to Washington D.C. to go to my other cousin's like graduation party, and I saw my cousin there and I said hello, but that's it. We didn't really talk. So I don't know a lot about my cousin. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where she live. I don't know her kids. I don't know who she dating. I don't know nothing, right? So for her to get on social media and try to make it seem like she knew me or she knew where I stood with my life was weird to me. I couldn't understand that shit. But anyway, so the residue from all of that I just named is still coming into my Instagram. Like, people are still leaving me Instagram messages and talking to me about Jap and talking to me about Priest and Sedonia and saying all types of stuff. And I just be like, yeah, I really do not care about that. Like, I'm trying to move on with my life. All right. Like, I'm so happy with my life. I live in California. My son is taken care of. I'm about getting my money. I'm about helping people. I'm not for all of the gossip and all the drama that I was associated with when I, mistakenly reached out to Minister Jab to do a collaboration. Because that's where all of this started from. Like, I've always been like stalked and harassed by Tommy Sotomayor's audience. Let me stop calling him that. Tommy Sotomayor. I need to start calling him by his real name, because he's always hated that I called him something else. But Tommy Sotomayor's audience was attacking me for a long time. And that's the most amount of drama I've experienced in my life. But then when I reached out to Jap and wanted to do a collaboration just professionally, and then we had like this kind of little personal thing that we were doing, me rejecting him, it kind of just it 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 was a domino effect. And I wish I didn't reach out to him, only because when I did finally meet Priest and I ended up pregnant, with my son would have his father. Now, I'm not putting all of the responsibility on Jap, because Priest is his own man. Priest could have easily been like, no, fuck what you saying. I see how good she treats me, because I never treated Priest bad, so he had no reason to, you know, turn against me. So I think it's not just Jap's fault, but he did a number on my personal life, and that's why I just want to move on. I want people to stop messaging me about him and Kevin Samuels. Like, I don't have a personal beef with Kevin Samuels. Now let's talk about this video. The video that the woman sent to me early this morning at 4 a.m. because she ain't had shit else better to do with her time. She could have been out here screwing her man, hopping on top of that morning wood, or going out there and getting her money. She could be doing anything other than DMing me a link to a damn video of somebody made about me. Now let's talk about this video that this person made about me, where it says, businesswoman man handles man, and he's basically talking about this is why business women, independent women, men should date independent women. I don't know what this video is about outside of the description and what the title says. I promise you, because I don't look at it. I didn't look at it, but my picture is in the thumbnail. I put the thumbnail in the community tab on my YouTube channel. I don't have the link. So I can't give you the link. I can just show you what the damn thumbnail look like. And if y'all want to go check it out, please feel free. That's your business. But I do want to talk about where I stand as far as dating sites go. I met Priest on a dating site. I met him on POF. And during that time, I was using POF as a way to pull in men to come to events. I have always used social media for business, and that includes dating sites. I'm not the type of person that uses dating sites for a whole bunch of personal stuff. I've used dating sites to get men to just be cool with, so I can give them relationship advice or so I can invite them to some events. It's never been because I wanted to be in a relationship with them. If I ended up sleeping with them, it's because I just wanted to, because I just was in the mood to. It wasn't because I wanted to be in a relationship or anything like that. It's just, a lot of times I was using the dating sites just to pull in men because I would make money the more they came to the parties that I was promoting. Most of the people in Atlanta know I was a party promoter. That's what I did. I would get about 2-4 grand a night, bringing a whole bunch of people into a club or bringing a whole bunch of models into a club. Okay, that's what I do. I do marketing and promotions. All right, that's what I was doing in Atlanta. So that's what I'm known for. So that's what I was using POF for. I met Priest on that site. I met my son's father on my site. I invited him to Theory Lounge. Okay, Theory Lounge is in Gwinnett. That's why I reached out to Priest. It wasn't because he wanted to, I don't know, it wasn't romantic initially. When he and I was first talking, it had nothing to do with being in a relationship. I didn't want to be in a relationship. He didn't want to be in a relationship. That's just not what was happening there. Okay. um we just ended up being so cool and wanting to hang out. A relationship just happened naturally. No one was forced. I didn't force Priest into a relationship. He didn't force me into a relationship. We just so happened to get into one. And Sedonia always knew who I was from the beginning. I didn't know who she was specifically or in detail for a couple of weeks in. I didn't know. Um, he did tell me that he was married to her and separated, but he didn't tell me anything about her specifically. I didn't know anything about her. She knew my name. She knew what I looked like. She knew everything about me because he was very vocal to her about it. She was dating somebody else. Okay. For me, right? I didn't find out the details about Sedonia until after me and Priest was well in our relationship. I didn't end up talking to Sedonia until Priest and I was well in our relationship. And then she was telling me that I had nothing to worry about, that them two was over. Okay, so when them two decided to get on the internet and team together against me, that was blindsiding me because they led me to believe that they were broken up and that they were, had no intention on being together or anything like that. Okay, so Priest and I had a full blown relationship. I was not his side chick. I was not, somebody that was his mistress and he was like sleeping with his wife and I knew of it. Or like, as far as I knew, I was dropping him off at work and picking him up from work. I was around him 24/7. So I don't remember him ever having the time to cheat on me until towards the end of our relationship when he started talking to me about Jap and shit. Then he started like disappearing for hours at a time and I didn't know where he was. So he could have started sleeping with her then. But in the beginning of our relationship, I was around him so much. I don't think he had time to start sleeping with her. Okay, so if anything, Sedonia was his side chick. But of course, people think because, they were together for as long as they were, that I was his mistress. And a lot of people say mean things to me as if I just wanted to be this dude's side chick and I wanted to be his mistress and I was sneaking around with him or something like that. And that was not the case at all. Like it's cruel that people say mean things to me, as if Sidonia has a right to be hurt about the fact that me and Priest have a baby together, but her ass wasn't hurt when she was laying up under another man. If she was so married, why would she be sleeping with another man? When me and Priest was together, I never slept with anybody else. And ever since we broke up, oh my God, it's been 4 years, y'all. Hello. Think about this. It's been 4 years and I'm still sitting here getting over my relationship. When you genuinely love somebody, you just don't move on so quickly. So when people think Sidonia is like this angel, it's like, come on. If she is such an angel, why the fuck was she sleeping with other men while she was supposedly still married to Priest? If she's the one that deserves to be hurt about the situation and I'm not, why was she sleeping with other men? She's not. She wasn't hurt. She was well over this dude. So anyway, what Mark says to me, Mark thinks that she was over him until she seen him be happy with somebody else. And then suddenly she wanted to be, all up in his grill and shit. That's what Mark thinks. I think that's funny. I think a lot of people think that. But as far as Sidonia and Priest go, I moved on from them too. Even if they were still together to this point, I would not care. Whoever Chris, Jap, and Priest are dating is not my business. I don't care. It's women who have left voicemail messages on my phone talking about they dating Priest. All this stuff about Jap, they be talking about Chris on my voicemail. Listen, I have moved on with my life. I do not care what these men are doing. I want to move on with my life. And I moved on. I've been doing my own thing. I don't talk about them. I don't think about them. But I do want to tell you guys, whoever made this video, right, where they're talking about me being on a dating site, I'm not on any dating sites. I haven't been on a dating site in years. So whoever created this profile, if this is a new profile, like if this is the profile that was created within, I don't know, the past 2 years, that's not me. So inside of the video, this guy made, where I guess is a man who said I manhandled another man. If that's the case, whoever this person was talking to on the dating site was someone who stole my pictures and just decided to pretend to be me on a dating site, because I'm not on them. Now, if I have a dating site, dating profile up, like say for instance, I had Facebook dating up for a little while, and usually when I'm on dating sites, I'm giving men relationship advice. I'm not dating them. I'm not doing anything romantic with them. Still to this day, it's about business. I don't sleep with them. I don't go on dates with them. I don't do anything like that. I'm usually helping them get over their own personal situations. Okay. So Facebook dating, I think, was sitting up for a long time and I wasn't using it. But outside of that, I don't have a dating profile. Like somebody asked me, was I on a dating site recently? I was like, no, not really. I mean, the profile up there, but I don't really use it. So I just deleted it maybe 4 days ago, my Facebook dating profile, because it was just sitting there. So if a person is saying that they were talking to me on a dating profile, and even if they have receipts of the conversation, they weren't talking to me. They were talking to somebody who was pretending to be me, or someone who stole my pictures and just happened to be like, like on some catfish shit. So now let's say, for instance, for hypothetical purposes, let's say I was on a dating site, right? And I manhandled a man. Let's say I did that. Let's pretend for 2 minutes I did that. Even if I did do that, that wouldn't be my private business. That would be something that I did privately. So whoever the man was that supposedly told this story, he gave y'all proof of why I left him alone. Look at his behavior. He's talking about something that happened in private on a public platform to prove some type of weird point about business women that he believes are monolithic. That's stupid. Okay, that's good stuff. So anyway, I'm not on any dating sites. I'm not dating anybody. I'm celibate for a reason. I'm not celibate just to get men to be with me or to control men, because men like sex and I want a specific behavior out of them. No, I don't date at all. I'm celibate because I'm Buddhist. And as I continue to take my Buddhism and my spirituality more serious, it's easier for me to not have sexual energy exchanges with men. Inside of Buddhism, marriage and relationships are not like sacramental. You understand what I'm saying? Like they aren't like in Christianity, marriage. I'm sorry, I'm totally losing my voice. So if it's too high or too low, I'm sorry. In Buddhism, marriage and relationships are not like that serious. In Christianity, it's kind of like a requirement for you to be married. In Buddhism, we're not taught that. We're not taught to be married. It's not sacrimonious. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that, if you do it, it's considered secular. It's a secular behavior to marry someone or interact with someone. It's different to interact with someone sexually. So in Christianity, marrying someone is the closest thing to God, right? They try to make it seem like marriage, who you marry, that's your closest, one of the ways to keep in tune with God. That's not Buddhism. Buddhism is the more that you are alone, the more that you meditate on who you are as a person, and you practice the Buddhist principles, the closer you get to your higher power. Now they do teach us to not have a deity. Okay, so I have respect for our higher power. I do believe in God. I do respect Jesus, but I do not worship Jesus. I'm not Christian. I'm Buddhist. Okay, so Buddhism, sexuality, relationships, and marriage is a recreational activity, and it's considered secular and not sacrimonious in the Buddhist religion. We are taught to be celibate. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught to do that. So anyway, I don't that's one reason why, and another reason why is I'm still healing over what happened between me and Priest. If I do end up in a relationship with a man or a marriage, I want to make sure that I don't bring what happened between me and Priest and what happened between me and Jap and what happened between me and Chris into a relationship with a new man. And men nowadays, a lot of them don't want to really be in a relationship. A lot of them want to be single and sleep around, and that's not where I am in my life. There was a time in my life where I was, like I said, promiscuous and doing polyamory stuff, and I did that for about 2 or 3 years. But outside of that, most of the time I've been in monogamous relationships. Okay, so the way that I am now is I just been avoiding men, because I just don't want the drama associated with it. I work a lot. I raise my son, and I just really want to get Priest out my system before I date another man. And Priest is very much still there. Like it's just like he's still his presence. Like he's not physically here, but the relationship and how traumatic the situation was, and me being left alone with my son really hurt me really bad. And I just don't want to blame another man for something that Priest did. I don't think a man deserves that type of baggage. So I want to deal with my own emotions and my mental health first before I get in a relationship with a man. So I'm not on a dating site looking to date anyone. So whoever posted this video, you can go see the thumbnail in my community tab. That's not me, basically. If I cussed a man out because he was being a dusty, I do that on Instagram. So you don't have to get on a dating site for me to cuss out a dusty, to see me cuss out a dusty. I've done that shit on Instagram. I do it all the time here. Okay, so Mark has not been my moderator in a long time. I'm looking in the chat. I'm just gonna answer the questions that's up here. Is not a lot of them. Let's see. Let me go back. Stop clout chasing. I don't clout chase. I don't value clout. You understand? Like I don't value popularity because I've been popular so long and I see what comes with it, the good, the bad. It's not that deep to me. I don't clout chase. So if you saying that I put Minister Jap name or Kevin Samuel's name inside of my um title, because a lot of y'all be like, oh, you put him in the title so you clout chasing. No, it's not that. It's I am telling y'all the truth about a situation so y'all can understand, because maybe I did not verbalize this enough. Maybe I wasn't clear enough about where I stand with Kevin Samuels or Minister Jap, but now with this live stream I try to be as clear as possible, and I hope you guys understand that. I don't talk about other people often. I create original content. I don't like to talk about rumors and gossip all of the time, but this specific thing with Minister Jap has been affecting my life, and I need for people to understand that whatever negative feelings you have about me or whatever you want to say, keep that shit to yourself. You don't always have to say what you're thinking. And even if you do want to say what you're thinking, save that shit on your own platform. Do not reach out to me with stupid stuff. Like, don't reach out to me with the dumb shit. It's stupid. Like, I don't have time for it. Okay. Next one. Isn't your moderator Mark? He's not my moderator. Mark hasn't been my moderator in, I don't know, I think it's been a year. Mark wasn't when things happen with um the suicide thing during the pandemic. Mark wasn't moderator. Mark wasn't the moderator who posted it. Mark thought I passed away, and I think he posted something on my community tab when he thought I passed away. But I don't think he like maliciously was posting it in other places. I think he posted on my community tab on YouTube. It wasn't him who did Facebook and Instagram. Two of my other moderators did Facebook and Instagram. Mark did a post on community tab, and my other moderators did a live stream. I think playing somebody else's video where they was talking about me. I think I don't remember. Um, Never allow someone else's negativity dictate the outcome in your life. You have plenty to live for. Keep your head up and stay positive and keep pushing. Thank you. Thank you. Being too loyal could be a blessing and a curse. That's so good. That's so true. Basic Goddess, glad you're addressing this. I'm trying. I'm trying, Basic Goddess. I really am, sweetheart. Like, oh Lord. I just don't want to talk about this ever again. All she said was that you were not deceased, and she was right. Or who did say? No, that's not all she said. You talking about Raquel Untamed Milani? My cousin Raquel, that's not all she said. Mark told me what she said. Cause Mark told me what she said, because Mark talked to her. Like Mark told me that she was talking about I faked my death because I was trying to get attention. That was not true. That's not what was happening at all. She lied and said she got confirmation from my family that I was okay. No, she didn't, because she didn't talk to me or my mom or my daughter. So I guess I'm assuming she talked to somebody other than my mom, but someone my mom talked to. Okay, like, because my mother got a lot of sisters. So my mother probably told one of my sisters, oh, Soncerae is okay. It's fine. We're just dealing with something. And then Raquel took it upon herself to try to represent our family as a whole in their opinion about what was happening to me. But she didn't know what was happening to me. She was in no position to say what was going on with me. Then she proceeded to tell all of these stories about what happened when we were kids. Like, she told this story about how I was sexually assaulted by a guy that I was my boyfriend in middle school. And it was a very, very unfortunate experience, but it's not something that I brought to social media. But she tried to make it seem like it was something that I made up, like I wasn't sexually assaulted by my boyfriend. But the truth was, I was, and me, him, my mom, and his mom sat down and ironed it out. And he did try to do something with me that I wasn't prepared for. But because he was my boyfriend at the time, I didn't feel like he was being malicious. I just think he wanted to take a step forward, and I wasn't ready for that step inside of our relationship. And what he did to me sexually scared me. So I just, but it's such a private situation that that's not something that I wanted people to know on social media. And the fact that my cousin is the one that told people that is what's fucked up. And she said a lot of other negative stuff. So my cousin is not innocent. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't just say, oh, Sansa is not alive. If she wanted to represent our family, she should have represented our family with a level of class. It should have just been like, Soncerae is okay. She's doing well. Just keep her in your prayers. Something like that, and kept it moving. But instead, she decided to do some long-winded, like, negative rant That was unnecessary, and that's why I don't fuck with her. I wasn't fucking with her before then, but I definitely don't fuck with her now. Like I don't fuck with none of my family. None of my family. If it's not my mother, my sister, my daughter, I'm not fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a relationship with my family. This is what I keep trying to explain to everybody. Like I'm not, they know nothing about me. Nothing. Like literally, the stuff that they think they know is something they heard, not something that was told by me or something they saw happen to me. They live on the other side of the United States. I live in California. Even when I lived in Atlanta, they were still living where they live, which was nowhere near me. So they do not know my life. That's why I don't like that people reach out to my family, trying to get information about me when they don't know information about me. They don't know. What can they say? All they can do is speculate just like y'all do. Anyway, that's it for today. I gotta go. That's 2 hours of live stream, which is something I never do. But I hope this has been beneficial. I hope this helps anybody out. If you want to order my book, inside of my book, Owning Opulence, I talk about this stuff, not to the degree I just spoke about it in this live stream, but I talk about the financial part of the stuff that I was talking about as far as me and pre situation, because a lot of people try to figure out how I ended up broke, and how did I end up homeless, and how did I no longer become homeless. A lot of people don't know that story. So my book is for those people. If you know the story, I don't know if you would want the book. I do give financial advice in it. But the main purpose of that introductory book in the series of books that I have is that was introducing people to me who did not know who I was. Like there are a lot of people on TikTok who follow me. They don't know who I am. You know what I mean? They don't know my backstory. They didn't know anything. So they asked me to write a book. So I wrote a book for them. But if you've been my YouTube subscriber and you've known me for a long period of time, or you've seen this drama between me, Chris, Priest, Jap, and Sidonia pop off, then you don't need the book. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want the financial advice associated with it. You understand? It's $21 on Amazon. It's $9.99 on Kindle, or you can go onto my website and download the PDF for $15. So I will be writing another putting out part 2 of Owning Opulence. Will be more detail about becoming a virtual millionaire or about becoming financially stable, because really you don't have to be a millionaire to live a comfortable life. Okay, I am only here to teach you how to live comfortably. That's it. I'm here to use my story so that you can improve who you are, because some people just need guidance. Some people don't. Some people do. If you need guidance, if you need help, if you need life coaching, if you need any of that, then you need to pick up my book and watch my videos and do stuff like that. But if it's not for you, I understand that. You just might not be in that part of your life. Okay. My next book after my I think part 2 of my Owning Opulence, after I release my second Owning Opulence book, I'm going to release the Unicorn Atlanta book. The Unicorn Atlanta book, that where I spoke about my polyamorous relationships with Chris, I had to rewrite the book because I had to take Chris' name out the book. And it was very difficult to write a book, to rewrite a book and leave Chris out, because Chris was an important factor of the book. So I had to figure out a way to redo this book without saying this is about Chris. This is about me and Chris, because I want Chris to go live his life. It's unfortunate that he's still clinging on to Jap if they have like some type of friendship. That is so unfortunate for him, and I feel so deeply like just saddened by that, because I feel like Chris deserves a better friendship, than somebody who reached out to him to use him as a tool to harm me. Now, let me just say this before I go, because I spoke about Nicole Michelle. Let me talk about Angela, Black Woman's Fear. Black Woman's Fear was the one that took me off the ledge while I was pregnant with my son. Um, I cry my eyes out. I'd be texting Angela and just cry my eyes out. And Angela just basically talked me through so much. And I care for her deeply because of that, right? I had an ample amount of respect for Angela. And it hurts my heart. Just so y'all know how much pain I deal with when I think about Chris and Jab, just so you can know, it's just an excessive amount of pain. So that's why it's taking me so long to get over all of this. So Angela was really close to me. And because we had a bond where she was there for me at the lowest point in my life, it really hurt me to find out that her and Chris were talking to each other behind my back. You know what I mean? Like, not even really behind my back. Just once me and Angela were no longer like friends or interacting anymore, Angela went and started talking to Chris. And her and Chris, got close. And it hurts me when I think about it. So it hurts me that Angela would even think it was okay to even talk to Chris. And then for Chris to keep overstepping this boundary of interacting with people who are my friends or people who are my family members or people who hated me, like that, or they classify themselves as my enemy. It's very hurtful that Chris does that. It's just to deal with the fact that Chris does that, because I would never do that to Chris. I still haven't done that to Chris. It's just certain things I'm just not gonna do to him because I cared for him deeply. I thought we were friends, and just like I thought me and Angela were friends, and I just thought that me and Priest were friends. So you have to understand, with this situation, I lost a lot of people that I cared for because I realized that a lot of them weren't really my friends, and a lot of them weren't um real. Like the bond that I thought I had with them wasn't real. And finding that out, it really hurts sometimes. So I try not to think about Angela and Chris and Jap and Priest, because I think out of everybody, the four of them just really, it hurts me when I think about them. So in order to move on with my life, I have to completely block them out. Like, I used to be the one that used to cheer Angela on all of the time about taking her YouTube channel serious. I used to always be like, on this, do it, girl. Like, you one of those people that you could just do so much for women if you just take it serious. I used to be the one to tell her that. But when she speaks to me, she doesn't say I did that. She talks about me negatively. And there are some times where she's talked about me positively, but she's never given me credit for being so positive towards her. And it just hurts me every time I think about her. And then when I think about Nicole Michelle, just like I spoke about her at the beginning of the live stream, it's just like, when I'm thinking about the friendships that I built online and the men that I've dealt with offline, it just hurts me so much that I just have to deal with that before I get into a relationship with another man, or I build another friendship with a woman here in California, because I keep distance from people here in California. I don't date. Like I said, I was like engaged for a little while during the summertime in June last year, but that person was a childhood friend. So new people, I haven't really tried to get to know new people like that. I just really don't know. I just have some stuff I have to deal with as far as getting rid of um the sadness and the grief associated with like Chris and Jap and Priest and Sedonia and damn Angela. And it's just like, you know, you guys wouldn't understand if I sat here and tried to talk about it. So anyway, I gotta go. I've been on here for a long fucking time. Okay, I gotta go now. I'll talk to y'all soon. See y'all soon. I'm still gonna do my live stream about money crimes. I just gotta keep y'all updated about that. All right. Have vision to stay focused. Namaste.